G'day everyone, Nick Delaney here. On today's lesson, we're going to do the third installment in my theme and variation series, where we're going to take a motif or a lick and we're going to vary it using different constructs. Today, we're focusing on harmony. We're going to learn how to reharmonize a lick to get different colors and sounds out of the same bunch of notes. Check it out. Alright, so let's get into it. If you notice, I've got my guitar today, not the bass, because today we're talking about chords, how to reharmonize a melody. And I thought I could play some chords on the guitar, play our little lick, and see what it sounds like in different contexts. So, let us remind ourselves of the lick. The lick is still the same, just on guitar. So same lick, A, E, D, G, E, A, and it's a little bit higher because it's a guitar, but it's the same melody. So let's have a think about what chords we could play this melody over and what intervals is that melody going to be representing, giving the color. So originally we thought about placing this lick in the key of A minor. Now if we do that, that's going to give us a series of chords in the key of A minor, and we could try this lick out over all of them. We're going to pick and choose the ones we think sound good. The ones that sound a bit weird, well, we'll just dismiss them. But let's just have a listen to what we've got so far. If we're in the key of A minor, the chords we have are as follows: A minor 7, a B half diminished chord, then we get a C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, I'll try to stop singing them all, F major 7, G7, and we're home to A minor 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the chord, and we're going to listen to the lick over that chord and see what it sounds like. And if we like it, we're going to work out maybe what intervals the lick is representing, and that might give us a bit of an insight as to why it sounds the way it sounds. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? A minor 7 chord. Beautiful, the magic of technology. I've got a freeze pedal down here. So, here is an A minor 7, and here is our lick. That's pretty cool. I like it. So this lick is giving us some specific intervals based on the chord. We are getting a root note, a fifth, a fourth, a flat 7, back to 5, down to the root note. Really, really nice. So let's just keep moving. We're going to have a B half diminished chord. Awesome. Now the lick. It still sounds pretty good, but we're playing over a diminished chord which has got tension built into it by nature, so the lick feels a little unresolved. But I mean, that's the point of diminished. So that works all right. Let's just keep on trucking. C major 7. There we go. Yeah, I like that. So now we're getting the same lick, but it's a different interval structure. So we're thinking about how do these notes relate to a C major 7 chord? Well, what we've got here is A, which is a 6, or a 13 if you want to get fancy. Down to the 3rd of C, down to the 2nd or the 9th of C, up to the 5th, back to the 3rd, landing back down on that 6 or 13. So this lick has a beautiful major 7 sound because of the chord, but I'm hearing some 13s and some 9s in there. Really, really sweet, quite pretty. Awesome, I like that one. Let's keep on moving. We're going to have a D minor 7. Same lick again. I really like that one. So this one's starting on the 5th of D, down to the 9th of D, the root note, the 11th of D, back to the 9, down to the 5th. So lots of nice colours in that one, but landing on that stable root note. I quite like that one. Let's keep on moving. We're going to play an E minor 7. Awesome. I mean, they all work, let's be clear. They're all from the same key, so they all work. But what sort of colours are we sort of representing here? This one starts on the 11 to the root, the flat 7, there's the minor 3rd of E, back to the root, finishes on an 11. It's quite a nice sound for a minor 7 chord. Yeah, the 11's quite a sweet note over a minor 7 chord. So let's try the F major 7 next. Beautiful. Yeah, that's great. That's got a lot of character to it. I like that sound. So what intervals are we playing here? Remember, we're playing over an F major 7 chord. So we're starting on the 3rd, down to the 7, down to the 6, up to the 9th, back to the 7, finishing on the 3rd. So lots of colour. Yeah, I really like that. That's quite sweet. All right, let's keep on trucking. We're going to head to a G7 next. So there's our dominant chord, super cool. Again, it works. Yeah, this is kind of cool because we're starting on the 9th of the G7 chord now. Down to the 13, down to the 5. There's the root note, back to 13, finishing on a 9. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. And that's the 7 chords in the key of A minor. So they all are going to work, but you get to pick and choose which ones you like. So, you know, out of those, I quite liked the A minor 7. I like the C. I like the F as well. The D was pretty cool. It's our D minor 7. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little something extra here. I'm going to think, well, the notes I'm playing, if I relate them to a D chord, I'm going to have the 5th, the 2nd, the root, the 4th, back to the 2nd and the 5th. So what I'm noticing about that is the lick has a 2nd and a 4th, but it doesn't have the 3rd. That makes me think, maybe that'd work over like a sus chord. So if I did like a D, maybe a D sus 4, you got the sus sound in the chord, because now the melody matches the chord a little bit more. I like that's a great sound, yeah? So that's representing, there's my 4 in the chord and in the melody. I could have similarly done a D sus 2. Sounds great. But now I'm going to represent, there's the 2 of that D sus 2 chord. I love it. So you can also do some cool things like that. Awesome. All right, so that covers the key of A minor. But what we've got to realize is that because I've only got really 4 notes, an A, a G, an E, and a D, those 4 notes could come from multiple keys. So now we can think, well, what if I found out what those other keys are and played some of those chords and see what this lick sounds like? So there's more to go here. So this lick could also come from the key of F major. Those 4 notes, A, G, E, and D, are in the key of F major as well. So we can start looking at the chords in the key of F major and see if that gives us some new sounds or new colours. So let's go through the chords in the key of F major. We're going to have, well, we're going to have F major 7. We're going to have G minor 7. A minor 7. Here we get a B flat major 7. Sweet. going to get a C dominant 7, then we get our relative D minor 7, and our final chord will be E half diminished, and we're back home. Now, some of those chords you might notice, we already had those in the last key. So the key of A minor and the key of F major do share some chords. So we're not going to go through them again, we're just going to look at the chords that are different. So in this key we had F major 7, well that's a shared chord between both keys, so we don't need to try that again, we know it sounds good. But the second chord I got in the key of F was G minor 7. Now last time we got a G dominant 7 when we used the key of A minor, but this one, G minor 7, that's going to give us some different sounds. So let's have a listen to that for a sec. There's my G minor 7. That's cool. Yeah, that sounds great. So we're playing the 9th this time to the 13, the 5th, there's the root, 13 and the 9. Now, interesting, worth pointing out, those intervals in relation to a G chord are the same. If we're playing a G chord, that's the 9th, that's the 13, that's the 5th, that's the root, back to 13, down to 9. How can we play the same lick over a G dominant chord and a G minor 7 chord? Well, the reason is the only difference between a G minor 7 chord and a G dominant 7 chord is the B and the B flat. So in the minor chord, I get B flat, but in the dominant, I get B natural. Well, here's the cool bit. My lick doesn't use any Bs, flat or natural. That way I can fit it over both of those chord qualities. That's pretty cool. So, minor 7 works great. Dominant works really, really well as well. All right, so that's pretty cool, but let's just move on. In the key of F again, the third chord was A minor 7, which we had already in the key of C, so we're not going to bother with that one. But we do get B flat major 7. Yeah, that's great. Lovely. What are the intervals? This time we're starting on the major 7 of B flat major 7. That's great colour. Down to, the E natural. That's the sharp 4 or sharp 11 of B flat major. Starting to get a bit of a Lydian vibe. So 7, sharp 11, there's that major 3rd, up to the 13, back to the sharp 11, finish on the major 7. Super colourful lick over this chord. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's pretty. Awesome, we got a ripper. I like that one. Next in the key of F, after the B flat major 7, would be a C dominant 7. So let's have a listen. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's great. We've got the 13, major 3rd, to the 9th, there's the 5th, back to the 3rd, finishing on the 13. That works really well. That's similar to the G chord in that before we had C major 7, now we're doing C dominant 7, and again, guess what the difference is? B and B flat. They're the only notes different in those chords. So again, this lick doesn't use any Bs, so we can do it, we can imply it. Sounds awesome. All right, let's move on. The next chord we got in the key of F was D minor 7. We had that before, so we're not going to worry. The last one will be E half diminished. Now this will be interesting. Let's have a listen to this one. Again, we're starting with a tense chord, so the lick's probably going to have some inbuilt tension, but let's see what we get. Nice. Yeah, interesting. So now what are we getting is we're getting the fourth to the root, the flat 7, there's that minor third, back to the root, and down to the fourth again. So that's pretty cool. It's got lots of the same notes as an E half diminished. Just got that 4 there, which is pretty cool. Not bad. And then we're home. F major 7. Pretty sweet. So that's a pretty good bunch. So we've got some great chords so far. Now, is there more? Of course there's more. These notes could also come from the key of G major. I'm going to put that down on the screen just down here. So, if we're in the key of G major, we get another series of chords. Let's just run them quickly, and we're going to look out for ones that are different to the ones we had before. So now we're going to get G major 7. So far we've had a G dominant 7 from the key of A minor. We had a G minor 7 from the key of F. Now we've got a G major 7 from the key of G. Now this one, it's going to work again. Let's just have a listen to it. Yeah, that sounds great. It's got the same colours that it's always had, it's just that the chord underneath is a major 7 sound, so that gives us a different foundation to build on. Works on all of them, I like it. Let's move on. In the key of G, chord 2 is A minor 7. Well, we've had that before, so that works, we know that works. Let's move on. The next chord we're going to get is B minor 7. Now we haven't had that one before, let's just have a listen to it. Alright, here's the lick. It's not bad. We're starting on the flat 7, down to the 4 or the 11, minor third. Then we're on to like a flat 6 or a flat 13, back to the 4, down to the flat 7. So this is interesting, this one. Not my fave, but hey, we've got to try them out. Let's keep on going. After B minor 7, we're going to get C major 7, which we've had before. Then we would get D dominant 7. Now this is going to work again because the melody's got the core notes we need, but let's just listen to it. Dominant sound, bit of inbuilt tension. Yeah, it's great. Same intervals as before, 5, 9, 1, 4, 9, 5. Pretty cool. Remember I did that sus chord before, the D sus chord, because the melody sort of presented lots of 4s and 2s. Well, we could do like a sus 7 chord. That's pretty cool. I like that one, that's super cool. We've only got a couple left in the key of G. There's an E minor 7. We had that before, we know that works. Now we're going to get F sharp half diminished. Let's see. Might do a lower voicing just so we can hear the separation. Yeah, not too bad. What have we got? Flat third, flat 7, flat 6, the 9, back to the flat 7, down to the minor third. Not too bad. Again, not my absolute fave, but we've got a pretty good list so far. I believe there's one more key that these notes come from. We could come from the key of D major. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go through the chords, we're going to check them all out, see which ones work, see which are a bit weird. Let's look for the new chords. We have D major 7. Yeah, it's not bad. Not 100% like grabbing that one. Just the that perfect fourth in a major 7, it's a bit of a dissonant interval, but you know, horses for courses. If you like it, you like it. Next chord in the key of D major is E minor 7, which we've had before. Then we're going to get an F minor 7. No, we're not. We're going to get an F sharp minor 7. Interesting, okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Again, there's a couple of intervals in there I'm not super gelling with. Flat 3, flat 7, flat 6, flat 9. Pretty dissonant, back to the flat 3rd. So maybe not the best choice, but again, hey, if you want the tension, stick it in there. A little bit more to go. We're going to get a G major 7, which we've had before. Then we're going to get an A dominant 7, which we haven't had before, but that should work quite well. Yeah, we're back nice and home now. Because again, we're starting on the root down to the 5th to the 4th. There's your flat 7 from the dominant chord, back to the 5th, finishing on a nice stable root note. So that works pretty well, I like it. And what have we got? We've got another B minor 7, which we had before. The only new chord here is C sharp half diminished. Let's try it out. It's probably going to be a bit tense, but that's the nature of diminished. There's certainly a lot of tension there. You've got to realise that the intervals I'm emphasising, they're not part of that chord. A, well, that's like a flat 6. Then it goes down to, there's the minor 3rd, there's a flat 9. Then we get like the flat 5, and back down to that flat 6. So, not the best. But then we take it home. All tension is released, all is forgiven. Awesome. So let's just remind ourselves, we have one lick, but there's a bunch of chords that we thought, hey, that sounds pretty good. Now, that's pretty much what I thought we could cover today. All I was doing was looking at what keys could the lick come from, and then just trying all those chords out and just listening. Once I decided that I liked one, it was worth working out what the intervals were, because then I could play that in different keys. So for example, one I really liked the F major 7. I really like that one. So much colour. Now, intervals, let's remind ourselves here. I'm starting on the major 3rd, down to the 7, down to the 6, there's the 9th, back to the 7, finishing on the major 3rd. So, this is where we get interesting now, is now if I come across a major 7 chord, all I've got to do is find the 3rd and play that lick from there, and I'm going to have that sound. And for all you fretted instrument players out there, this isn't a big deal because you just got to move the shape around, yeah? If you're one of those piano type players, you've got some more work to do, but you can do other cool tricks. Let's have a listen to this. Let's pick a chord that's none of those chords we heard before. Let's do an E flat major 7. Beautiful. All right, that's my chord. Remember, my lick started on the major 3rd, so I need to find out the major 3rd of E flat. That would be G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself a G, maybe one that's higher than that. Might take myself up an octave, and here's where the guitar wins. That's exactly the same architecture as before, just down a tone. So now that's going to work over beautiful E flat major 7. Oh yeah. Back to F. Yeah. E flat. flat. Love it. Super cool. So this way, if you understand the melody and its intervallic relationship to the chord, you can play this lick over any of these chords. All sorts of keys, move it around, having loads of fun with it. Anyway, that was my little idea about reharmonizing one lick. Remember, we're still just playing a lot of stuff. So that's it for today. In the final installment, chapter 4, I thought I'd jump on the guitar again, and I'm just going to talk about articulation, which is really cool. So how else could I physically play that lick? Could I incorporate some slides, some vibrato, some bending, different bits and pieces specifically related to your instrument? Worth thinking about. I'm going to do a little one on that. And then what I might do is I might just knock together a sort of big improvisation where I play this lick over loads of different chords with loads of different rhythms and different sequences and some different articulations. And I'm just going to see how long can I play this without boring the pants off you. Anyway, that's for next time. Thanks for sticking around. See ya.